everyone, it's Lucas with another Big Brother Spoilers intro. Today's guest comes from the very first New Era season, Survivor 41, with one of the most electric energies out there. It's Tiffany Seely. Josh will be sitting down with Tiffany, the last-minute alternate who went from almost not playing the game to being one of the most talked-about characters of the season, from early scrambly chaos, navigating advantages everywhere, to having an edit that fooled most Edgic community members, including myself. Her Survivor story is one of the most unique and unexpected the game has ever seen. In this interview, Tiffany opens up about the whirlwind casting process, quarantine life in Fiji, the moment she knew her game was in danger, why she held on to her shot in the dark, and what it felt like watching everything back through the fan reaction lens. She also reflects on what she learned about herself and how the show changed her life afterwards, as well as the moment she'd replay differently if she could. And of course, we look ahead. Tiffany gives her thoughts on Survivor 49's gameplay so far, the idle decisions, the chaos of tribe swaps, Sophie B's knowledge is power find, and why this cast has the potential to explode at any minute. She shares her winner predictions, early reads, and even those who she'd think she'd work with if she were out there this season. We also hit Survivor 50 speculation, Big Brother crossover talk, which castaways she'd love to see on the challenge or traitors, and whether she herself would ever return to the island for another shot. It's real, fun, sharp, and honest. Classic Tiffany in every way. So let's get into it.
Tiffany, I'm so excited to be talk to you. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you? Happy holidays.
Yes, I'm really excited to talk to you today. So it's wild. It's already been over 4 years since Survivor 41. So how has life been for you since leaving Fiji?
Wow. So it's been fun, wild, a lot of social things that I didn't expect were going to come from this, I guess would be the best way to say it. A lot of opportunities with CBS and going to other shows and premieres and then of course within the Survivor community, all their premieres and meeting all these people post our show 40 from 42 on. And it's just endless. It's endless. Immersion into this whole survivor world of which I was not aware was something. So for me, it's been really wild because I didn't expect it. I mean, maybe other people knew that there was like such a big presence after the show, but it's been pretty crazy. It's been pretty crazy.
So was there anything difficult about transitioning back into normal life after doing the show, either after the filming or
Um,
the airing?
Yeah, I think anybody would say there's a bit of difficulty. Like you have all these people following you around, and you're sort of like in this moment of being like a big deal, right? You're going out to Survivor, so that's really exciting, and then you're out there, so that's super exciting, and then you come home and there's a bit of a down, which I think everybody feels like that tremendous, like, oh my God, it's we just did that and it's over, and it's kind of like where did the time go? It was just so quick. I always say when people ask me, it was like my wedding day. Like everybody tells you on your wedding, take a moment, take a breather, and look around and like ground yourself, which I did when I was on Survivor. I remember being in one of the like tents waiting for one of the challenges, and I said, I can't believe I'm at in Fiji, waiting to go to a challenge on Survivor. It was so surreal that I think it doesn't catch up to you. It still doesn't fully catch up. Like now, even when I watch it, I'm like, I cannot believe I was on that show. Right. So I would say that even more than before, you want to be out there again. It's crazy. It's like this, I don't know, it's like a drug. That's what I say. It's like the Survivor drug. I don't know how else to explain it. And it's an addiction. You just want to keep, you know, being part of it. And it's been like that ever since. I think, of course, we've like 4 or 5 years out, it's less, but the wanting to maybe go back never does go away. And evolving right with the game and seeing that season 41 was an all new era, and we were really very much the guinea pigs. And there's a little bit of like that sort of, I wouldn't say jealousy, but maybe that's a good word, that all these other players after us got to experience or see a little bit of what we had no idea was coming, right? And I kind of wish I knew a little bit more of that when I was there, but it is what it is. You got to start somewhere. So we were that season, which is, super cool. We get a lot of flack for it. I mean, we're still, not ranked up there, with the greatest of seasons, but really, I really think we had an awesome cast. I just think that the format was a little bit of a letdown for most of us.
Yeah, I definitely have a lot of questions about your season, but let's get into the current season first, season 49. So how have you been liking season? Who are your favorites? Tell me all your thoughts on 49.
Oh boy. Wow. I think most of the characters are super likable. I think we're going to start there because I don't always feel like that. There's really no character this season that I didn't like as like a human. There are moments in most of the survivors that I can look back and be like, oh, I think I wouldn't jazz with that person. Like this season, I just kind of feel like everyone is status quo. Regular, nice, seemingly easy to get along with people for the most part. I got to be honest. Um, I'm finding it a little bit, I'm going to be fair to say, on the more boring-ish side. And I don't know if that's by design. It has nothing to do with the players. It has nothing to do with their personalities. Because everybody that's out there has a great personality and is supposed to be out there. I think it's just like it's very hard to be the season before a comeback season 50 kind of thing. And I think that maybe by design, it was supposed to be a little bit of a like chill season. And I'm kind of feeling it's just like, I'm never right about every single boot order person, but like this season, I've nailed it every time. So there's got to be something to that, right? It's been pretty predictable, even last night, even I watched it last night for like the last episode because I was not feeling well that night. So I didn't get to watch it. But even this final episode, like, I don't know, they had a lot of things they could have done and they talked about how it could have been so crazy, but I didn't really feel like it was. I mean, did you? Did you feel like it was like really wild?
So who was last episode? And I'm drawing a blank. It was
With
who
the
went out?
oh God, now you're gonna ask me a question. Who went out? I know who went out. Give me a minute. But I am old, so I often forget names. The last person was Jawan.
Jawan, yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. It could have been who was it, either Jawan or Sage that they could have went with. So it could have been either one of them. But you called Jawan, so
Yeah, I did. I mean, like it was just it felt a bit like let's talk about how great this could be because we have so many things going extra vote and okay, so they did like everybody kind of knows except for what Sophie has that one power that nobody knows about, which I think is like the shining star of the season. I hate to say it, but in all of these last 9 seasons, I don't remember somebody being able to hide an advantage that they had yet. I think this might be the first, but I could be wrong. um but yeah, like, all right, so they use their extra vote, I believe.
mhm.
And Rizzo puts on a show with that fake idol at some point. I don't know if that was the one before or this one. But other than that, like, nothing crazy, nothing to even the challenges. I mean, they're good, but they're not lit. It's missing something, and I don't know what it is.
What about as far as who you're rooting for? Because this scene, there's two New York people, Sophie and Reza. Do you root for the New York people? And who else do you be rooting for?
I mean, yeah, you always root for the New York people. I really like both Sophies, but this one Sophie is a challenge beast. She's incredible. I think I thought she's been really great. I really like Savannah. I really like Savannah. I think Savannah is they're trying to paint her as some sort of villain. I don't think it's working. I don't see her as villainous. I see her as somebody who everybody sees as a threat. Is just like, let's get Savannah out. She's like too good. And yet again, she's slipping through the cracks and being able to save herself. And same thing with Sophie, right? And she's there. And Rizzo sort of is like this guy that has a big shining personality and is a threat, but nobody's really looking to get him out just yet. I think that's just too big of a move at the moment for anybody. So I'm sort of pulling, oh God, I guess I would say I'm pulling for Savannah. I'm pulling for Sophie. I mean, I love both Sophies, but Sophie, is it S? There's
Yeah.
Sophie B and Sophie S. But I like Sophie B so much too. She's adorable. But Sophie S has just been bringing it. I think she's really great. Savannah's been really great. I mean, she's a beast out there. She sort of reminds me of a little bit of a Parvati, sort of. I don't know what it is about her. She's Parvati-esque. And then, of course, like, I don't know. Rizzo, I feel like I'm supposed to want him to win. I think he's been decent, but I feel like the girls are showing up a little more as far as challenges right now.
Yeah, let's go back
So
to episode.
go
Let's
girls.
go back. Let's go back to episode 3 that you and I were together at the RHP live show in New York when Jake was medically evacuated. What did you think of that whole situation? Jake was evacuated from the game.
What did I think of that situation? I mean, listen, I think it was really hyped up, and I think it was actually really a dangerous moment, and I think they really spent a lot of time on it. I will say that. I've said it before. Um, I don't necessarily love when they focus too much on things like that, because I feel like, it's a risk when you go out there. You sign your life away, right? Like, we all do it. We know that something bad could happen to us. I mean, it could happen to us walking across the street here, but I mean, I felt like he had to be sent. I mean, I don't see a situation where he stays at all, because only because I know with any kind of like thing that can come up later, like if you are allergic to peanuts, like my son is, right? And he ingested a peanut and had an epi shot and everything else, he still has to wait 48 to 72 hours to make sure that nothing rebounds. So I knew immediately that there was no way that he was staying. I feel terrible for him because I think he was a really big character, and I think that sort of really took the show down quite a bit, because he was a big, character for sure. Um, and I don't know. It sucked. I thought it sucked that he got voted out. I mean, not voted out, but it sucked that he was, sent home. It sucks. It's your dream. Like, what are the odds that a snake? I mean, I'm still trying to actually wrap my brain around how he didn't see it like coming to. I mean, I don't know. I guess it was fast. I was very hyper aware out there, but like, I never worried about a snake, to be honest. But like, he was sitting on the edge of the water. I was like, what's happening? Like, why is he getting bit? Like, how did he not see that? But we don't know the full situation, right? We just see what we see. So I'm sure, obviously, he was well aware, and just it snuck up on him, obviously. But I thought it was a big detriment to the show when he was taken off. That took the show. Like with anything in Survivor, you never know what's going to happen, and that completely changes the game for everybody, for everybody. So in one way, like, cool, somebody's voted off. I don't have to do it. Like, cool, we lost another person. But at the other side of it, like, when he's part of your alliance, now you're not happy. So you're
And I,
scrambling.
and I remember during the live podcast recording, you were part of the last group, and you had a lot to say about snakes, but people already said a lot about snakes. Do you have anything to say about the snakes?
I mean, like, listen, how much more can we say about a snake? I mean, this is Survivor. If this was Naked and Afraid, they'd be like, "Oh, he got bit by a snake. Okay, let's hope he lives." Like what we talked about snakes so much. I feel like even at rap event, it was such a discussion that episode was so difficult to podcast on, because it was like the snake episode. It's like this snake was the MVP of the show. So like, right, like, where was the snake when I was there? Like, where were you? We needed somebody to get out before I did. So like, yeah, I that episode was just sort of like a little ridiculous to me, but could have been like, oh, this is terrible. Like, okay. But to me, it says that either it threw everybody on the island at that moment, including producers and everybody else. They must have been really, really frightened. Or it was just like they had nothing else. So let's talk about the snake, the banded, snake, whatever. I mean, I feel terrible. That was terrible, but like, I don't know. Not great.
So no run-ins with any snakes or any other animals like that while you were out there?
Birds, like you often hear people talk about the birds. Yasa was on that island with those crying, screaming birds. And they are, I mean, everybody says it when we come back, but I don't think people understand like really what that was like out there. You're on an island, all you hear are animals and nightlife, right? But those birds they were screaming so loud, and it was such a piercing sound, and everyone was trying to guess what the hell it was. And if it was me, of course, I didn't know the whole underworld of Survivor. I didn't even listen to any podcasts before. I knew nothing. So like, I wouldn't have been able to go back and be like, oh yeah, people talked about these birds, right? But even the super fans that were there, like none of them were like, oh, I heard about these. Nobody said anything. I remember Xander saying like, maybe it's like a land monkey. I was like, what's a land monkey? Like, is that even a thing? Like, seriously. So like, everyone was freaking out about what it was until we actually had the run in with them, where they would fly. They had no spatial awareness. They were not used to humans. They would fly at you, like on past your head into the fire. And they bury these crazy holes into the like land out there. And if you step into one of those holes, it went up to my knee. So it was like, that's like gross feeling. You're like, what the frick is that? So those birds were like, that was a run in. And then the spider webs, like you hear a lot of people talk about like, oh, I just walked into, they're everywhere. So you're like constantly walking into them. You kind of get used to that feeling, but it's kind of gross too. Um, and then just there was a lot of like these lizardy salamander things that I would have eaten if I could have caught them, but they were hard to catch. So, you know, I dealt with the crabs that bit me. One bit me really bad, but I still caught it and ate it after. But other than that, there's not that much out there because there's really only us. You know, there's no life out there other than what Survivor has brought to the island. So that's really all I was dealt with, and even a lot of ants, like and flies, which are gross. You know, I don't like things in zillions. Ugh. But yeah, not a fan of
So,
camping if you haven't noticed.
yeah, so after Jake was medically evacuated and Jeremiah was voted out, Alex and Sophie, they were the last two members of their tribe. How do you think that your tribe would have went? How would Yasa have went if you guys lost 4 immunity challenges and 3 merge? Who would have been the last 2 of your tribe? Because you guys got down to 4. How would it have gone from there?
Ooh, if we got down, well, we got down to, well, we were at 4
Yeah, so if you lost 2 more, who would have been the last 2?
standing.
Yeah.
I think I would have to say it would either have been Evie and me or Evie and Liana. It
Yeah.
would have been one or the other. And something tells me that Evie might have gone with me at that moment because I was sort of like the mother figure for her. I think I gave her a lot of support, like emotionally. So that might have gone that way. But it would have definitely Evie would have been a definite, and it would have been between Liana and me because Evie was playing everybody. She was playing in the middle, super hard from the get go. Which thank God we didn't have to lose anybody, but not that it helped us much in the merge. But yeah, I think it would have been between us two with Evie.
Yeah, and your season didn't have any tribe swap. This season had 2. Do you prefer a season with a tribe swap or no tribe swap?
I like the tribe swap. I think that it gives you new life every time. Like I think that I don't need like 3 of them, but you know, I like it. I feel like, listen, if there weren't so many advantages and things like that, you'd have to have a tribe swap because I feel like you'd have to have some way to control the narrative as far as giving people a little bit of extra support if they're in a really crappy situation. But at the same time, I like that it gives people the ability to think about what can I do now to get myself out of the bottom, right? And then you have a swap and you're like, wow, now I have it puts like the idea of actually playing the game and using strategy to help you forward and propel you into the game. It gives you that ability, which I really, really like. That's what I love about the game. That's why I was so upset that I didn't make it a little further because I wanted to be in that position where I could really start using my people skills. I didn't have the footing to do it. It was so quick and merge happens, and then that stupid, dumb, we all know the hourglass, and then my game went down the toilet. So, you know, I couldn't even save myself, right? Because I wasn't even able to compete in that challenge where I could have won immunity. So like there was no, it just sucked. It sucked. So like, yeah, I think it's great for like if they did a tribe swap after that, our whole game would have been changed and different. So I think that in our case, it was sort of like the hourglass was our tribe swap, and it was just bad. It was like we had no control. The hourglass had the control. At least when you do a tribe swap, like now, the players have the control somewhat, right? But you could still get a really bad draw, right? And end up with even a worse draw than you had before after you worked so hard. So I think the whole game is very difficult. And I think that everybody sits on their couch and says, oh my God, this is not that hard. But yeah, of course, when you're watching it and you see the people and you know the personalities and you know the back talk, oh, that would be such a great move. Yeah, but we don't know that, right? We only know what we're doing and what we're having as a conversation. Yet you still have people podcasting saying, why didn't we do that? Well, duh, you didn't know that was the side conversation. You know it now because the producers and the editors told you. But, so it's a very difficult game, especially because a lot of it is luck, right? A lot of it. So, um, yeah, I mean, I think it's the luck of if you have luck on your side and you're a really lucky person and you do some really good strategizing and you have some competitiveness and a little bit of an edge in puzzles and an edge in, being physical, then you're going to get a little further. That's just, the way it's going to be. Look at, I mean, Sophie came out from I don't know. I just feel like all of a sudden she's just winning. She's between her and Savannah. It's just like a constant who's going to win, right? So it's been fun to watch. I mean, I certainly wish it was me. I mean, I did do really well in one of many of those challenges, except that, wasn't enough. Wasn't enough.
So let's get into this episode. So they had a reward challenge in teams for the second straight episode, and they did a schoolyard pick. Do you think that they should show the schoolyard pick on the episode? Because people want to see, it was a secret scene, so people want to see that on the episode. Do you think that should be on the episode?
The schoolyard pick? Well, I feel like when they tell you like, oh, this is who was going to pick, the captain picked, then you kind of know like what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like he picked obviously those people for whatever reason. And then of course you have the idea that he's going to not pick certain people because he doesn't want people to know they're close or whatever it is. But do we need to see it? I think it's okay to cut it out. I don't need to see it, but everybody wants to see everything. So I think if Survivor like released every tape that was made, like they would have a whole other insane fandom and show. Because can you imagine what all these fans would do if they had like raw footage of the behind the scenes and everything
Like
that
Big
was
Brother.
going on? It would be like insanity. And because it's like Big Brother, I think that's why they would never do it. But maybe in season 50 they'll do some of that, like, oh, here's an unedited. That would be cool. Like I think there's a lot that they can do. But can you imagine releasing those? It would be like Big Brother, but I think it would just be so interesting for people to see like what really went down, right?
Yeah.
But Survivor's great at what they do, and they're great at telling a story. And even if the season is not like so incredible that you're jumping out of your seat and rooting for one person the most, like you're still watching it, right? You're still going to be sitting on a Wednesday night or whenever you're feeling better, in my case, and you're going to watch it because it's just a fun show. It's just you can't hate Survivor. You really can't. I mean, you can hate that it's changed and that, it's not as catty and villainous as it was before. And I think they need to bring some of that back. I do. Like, they're trying really hard to make Savannah a little bit of a villain, in my opinion. And I don't think it's taking. Like, she's like, I don't think it's taking though. She's really, okay, so she said it straight up. Her saying, so like, she's like, who are you voting for? Like in the old days, that was like nothing, right? Yeah. So look what's happening. It's like, I don't know. So maybe it's the pendulum will need to swing a little bit the other way too.
So in the reward challenge, Sophie and Sage and Steven won the reward. It was hamburgers, hot dogs, and chocolate cake. What would be your ideal food reward out there?
Oh God. I was dying for like, and I don't know why, but I think I wanted like, what was I wanting really badly? Oh God, I was just so hungry. I think I was wanting like a bacon, egg, and cheese. Like I needed something like fatty and like something I would eat like after a night out and drinking in college, like just to like really, I think a hamburger, cheeseburger, like that would have been, listen, we got that fruit and that fish and we were ecstatic. So honestly, when you're that hungry and you're eating like the little disgusting hermit crabs, a banana tastes like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. The way we behaved when we got like food, we were like, this is the best banana. Meanwhile, it was like sitting in the sun and probably rotting, and we thought it was everything, So I love peanut butter. I love cereal. I love so I probably would have been like totally cool with peanut butter, jelly, and like potato chips, like salty and yeah, something. I didn't really care much for sugar until I was in Ponderosa. That's when all you want is sugar. I don't know what happens. We ate like bags of Skittles. It was just, and Starburst. It was disgusting. Starburst, not Skittles, Starburst. So I don't know. It was whatever we could get our hands on. So my perfect reward would have been like a meat, like chicken and anything protein. We needed protein so badly. I think I just lost an ear pod. This happens to me. My ears are small. So yeah, anything protein would have been great as far as I'm concerned, but I never got a reward. This is so sad.
Well, getting into tribal council, you mentioned earlier, Rizzo, he didn't play his idol for the fourth straight tribal. He played his fake idol. What do you think of that whole play?
Geez, I think it was obviously like for optics, and it was a little bit on the braggadocious, right?
Yeah.
line, like a little too much look at me. Like I feel like it maybe made him look a little bit too much of a jerk like to the other people. I don't know that I would have done that. Like for dramatics, okay. But again, I'm always getting in trouble for saying people are like that was so rehearsed or that, it's you rehearsed that, it looks rehearsed. I kind of feel like it was for like show and it didn't land as well as I would have anticipated it to land if it was me who did it. Um, it was it was all right. I don't think it was necessary, right? Like, okay, great, you didn't pay to play it again. Like, who does that look bad on? Like, everybody knows you have it, so are you really a threat at this point? Like, I would start to worry a little bit. Like,
Mhm.
they're saving me now, and I don't know. I felt like it was a little bit of a too much of a target on him to do that. Personally, I wouldn't have done that sitting there with that many, being at this part of the game. I don't know that I would have done that. I feel like you're probably gaining more enemies than you are friends, in my opinion. In my opinion, right? Like, think about the people sitting on jury. What are they thinking? Like, wow, that was kind of a jerk move. Like, why did he do that?
Mhm.
I kind of probably would have been more pissed that I didn't. If it was me, I would have been like, that's not necessary. Like, but okay, maybe he looks a little villainous too now. I don't know. Does he?
Well, are people going to think that he doesn't have the idol anymore now that he played it, and they're going to think the whole time it was a fake, and now he doesn't have one at all?
I mean, is that what he was going for? I don't think so. I think everybody
Yeah.
knows he has it, right? So
Mhm.
if he was going for that, it's kind of like, all right, if people were not sure that he had it, that could land. But everybody knew he had it. I mean, it was like they knew he had it. It wasn't like, oh, we think he has it. They knew he had it. So, and it's very hard out there to not really know once you're out there. And that's coming from a player. Like it's really hard to like hide something if somebody was with you when you found it, right? Or
Yeah.
or you trusted someone and you showed them all the papers and like you can't make that up. So yeah, I would tend to think it was more of like a look at me move than it was a I hope they don't think my idol is real move. But the editors could do magic and make us think that that's what it was for. I don't know. I didn't take it. I didn't take that away from it. But it's a good point. But I didn't see that.
So, and it ended up being Juwan voted out. What did you think of Juwan's game?
You know, I think Jawan was really I think he was much more liked than we are aware of as the audience because you kept hearing them say, like, he's so great. Everybody loves Jawan. So, like, obviously, he was very well liked. So, again, I was well liked also, and it was a target. Like people were like, "Oh, she's too talkative. Like people want to talk to her. She's too social. She's too good at the social." Like that is always a target on you because really your social game, I feel like, is 80% of the game, right? And if even more, maybe. And I think Jawan was more liked than we all saw. And again, I think they wanted to paint him as a little bit of a villainous character. And maybe to us it landed as villainous, but to them he was too likable. So I actually thought that vote came out of nowhere almost. Like I wasn't like shocked, but I was like, why did they play it like that? Like they didn't really. Did you feel going into it that that Jawan was even on the chopping block?
Well, it was between Juwan, Sage, and Steven. I thought it was going to be Steven. I thought that Steven was
Well,
definitely the biggest
right.
threat there.
Right. So that's what I would say. So I was going for the Steven thing. And then if it wasn't, if I was out there, it would be clearly between Savannah and Rizzo. Get one of those two out, right? Or Steven, right? So if you're on the other end of it. Jawan was just kind of like, all right, let's get Jawan out. But they must have known that he was pulling strings. They must have known that he was doing more, or this was a big surprise to the actual producers and the players kept a really good lid on what they were going to do. That's the other thing that we will never know if was part of it, right? Because we do get pulled for confessional. Jeff does kind of have an idea, but there is a way if you're really savvy and you know the whole game inside and out, there's a way to like even shock people at tribal, but it's very hard. So I don't know if that's what they were doing, but Yeah, I thought it was Steven that was going. I did. And then I thought the better play would have been to get rid of a Savannah, of course, or even, or a Rizzo or flush, whatever it is. So yeah, I was surprised that it was him. I don't know what the editing was doing. It was a little disjointed for me. Um, and I would agree with you. I would have thought it was Steven. So I mean, maybe that was obviously that was the point to like surprise us. Okay, wow, it's Jawan.
Mm.
But Jawan was a good player. He was a good player. He had a pretty good pulse and beat on things. And I think he had a lot of people in his pocket. And I think jury really liked him. So it was a good move. It was a good move.
So let's
You
go
try
back.
to, yeah.
Go,
Go.
oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, so like if you're feeling like you're holding the cards, like Rizzo and Savannah and Sage and who is it? It's Rizzo, Savannah, Sophie, and now Sophie they pulled in, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
So if you're those people, then of course you want to keep those four together as long as you can, because each one is a bigger target than the other, right? So
Mhm.
as long as you're here, I'm here because I'm less of a target than you, but you're more of a target, right? And then kind of Jawan is a target is like a big player on the other side of it. So like that makes the most sense. The Jawan, the Steven, does it matter in what order they go? I guess it matters with who has the most power there and is calling the shots. Like who's closest with them. If Steven is closer with Rizzo and Steven is closer with Sophie, then they're happy that they're keeping him. So we got to see what pans out in the next week.
So let's go back to the pregame where two people ended up getting removed from the game before it even started. What did you think of that whole situation?
Oh, I haven't heard much about it. Funny enough, one of the players that I think it is has friended me on Instagram,
Really?
and I was pretty sure he was on the cast originally, and so I'm pretty sure it's him. I'm not going to out anybody because I don't want to do that, but I think that's crazy. I got to be honest. Like I got in trouble for just looking at people the wrong way. Like, really, like in trouble. Like, why are you this person's not happy that you're staring at them. I'm like, because I have eyes and plus I'm also kind of blind. So, like, if I'm not wearing my glasses, then I'm either trying to make something out or whatever. And you're sitting there for days and for us, it was days and days, right? So, like, they had to do something pretty bad to be kicked off. Like, it had to be pretty like in your face. I don't care. I'm going to go against the rules. Like we were like little soldiers out there. Our 41 was like little soldiers. We so much as came back and didn't even let people friend us on social media that were on the show before. I remember Chrissy Hoffbeck wrote me and I was like, do I answer her? Like I was so afraid for my life. And now it's totally different. So like the fact that like they were out there chatting or doing whatever or trying to chat is crazy. And quite frankly, like you are so lucky you're out there. Why would you do anything to mess that up for yourself? That, first of all, as bad as it is for them to have broken the rules, you know how bad it is to think I was almost on Survivor and I screwed it up myself?
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Like, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. But it must have been more than once. Like it had to have been. They're pretty like you're looking at that person. Don't smile at that person. Don't make eye contact. Like don't, if somebody's like waiting to get food, like we don't even like we'll like go like this with our hand to say like you go first. But like they don't even want you doing that because that is that's the non-verbal communication, right? So they are very strict. You're sitting at your own table. So I don't know what they did. They must have maybe gone to the bathroom and our bathrooms, they were right next to each other. Like I could have seen somebody for like a half a second and maybe said something, but it would have been like, I would have been too freaking scared to do that because the handlers are right there. So like, I don't know. I don't know what they did or, I'm sure they talked, I think, and somehow cheated. I mean, that's a cheat. So you got what you deserved. You're stupid enough to do that. Like that's just stupid. Like really, people are dying, not sleeping at night, trying to get on the show, waiting for every single thing that's coming next to be flown out. And then you're in LA, and now you're sitting in Fiji, and you mess it up. They have to be kicked. I don't know how you get over that. I don't know how you recover.
Yeah, so clearly
Like,
they made the pregame really interesting. So do you think that the season would be more interesting if they remained on the cast?
if they remained on the cast, I think probably there would have been some chaos. And I think probably it would have came out during gameplay that those two are really close because they were doing something during pregame. And I think that's what they were afraid of. That would then, that the people at Ponderosa already, the cast, already saw the craziness and was like, this is messed up. Because once that happens, that has to play into the game. The game started already. But when you're at pregame, the game has started, right? Any nuance, any movement, anything, somebody can feel immediately connected to you, right? So if they already are seeing them talking or somebody saw something, it spoils the whole gameplay. So you don't have a choice. They didn't have a choice. Had they gotten away with it, it would have came out in game. And how they would have handled that, I don't know. So yeah, like I think obviously they were probably very big characters. And I think that is why we're seeing a little bit of this very like regular people type, nothing too crazy. Everyone's kind of chill. No one's even like there's like no crazy people. Like, oh, you ate my rice, you ate my this, you ate my like. There's very like it just seems very normal. Like, oh, we're playing Survivor, and we're now sitting at reward, and what are we gonna do? This is so scary. Like, it's very calm. Everything is calm. Even the challenges seem calm to me. So I probably would say that those two people obviously had some sort of personality along with Jake, and it made a big difference in the season. Yeah. So I think, what are you going to do?
Yeah, so because of that, Jason and MC, the alternates, ended up on the cast. And then Sophie and Sage had also been alternates in the past. How does being an alternate change the way that you play the game?
Wow, I think you're just so ready to hit the ground running at that point because you've gotten all that nerves of pregame out and not knowing if you're going to be out there. That like once you get out there and you've already seen a little bit of the process, I think it gives you a smidge of an edge, being like, okay, I know how this works now. Like I'm new here. I'm not a newbie here. Like I've been here before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm ready to hit that game running. And like I think MC was a pretty good, strong personality, right? But what happens is the strong people and the big personalities often get voted out first because they make a spectacle of themselves. Right? Like you're loud, you're from New York, and I'm super loud. I'm even loud in my own house. Like my sister's constantly telling me to like, oh my God, shut up. Like you're so loud. Maybe I'm a little, I don't know, maybe I'm a little hearing impaired because I am really loud. So somebody like me, I come into a game like that and I'm like a lot, right? And not for everybody. So like that's again a target, right? But it's so hard to not be who you are out there because you're so stripped of everything that like that's what happens. Big personalities get voted out. Loudmouths get voted out. Mean people get voted out. Like all the really fun characters get booted. And I feel like that's why you have a lot of good players that are voted out too early. You don't get to see much of them. So yeah. So Sophie, was it Sophie S that was the alternate?
Yeah, she was an alternate for 48.
She was an alternate for 48, right? Okay. So yeah, so I'm sure she was just so stoked to get out there, right? And she's good. She has like a presence. She has a bit of a New Yorkie presence, right? She says what she wants to say, and she's strong, and she's like a strong woman, right? She's got a presence. So I think she was ready probably to hit it and run. As is MC, right? Like she was really like these are strong girls with nice personalities, like fun. And yeah, so I think we got a good there. Whenever you have an alternate, obviously they're just as good as anybody else that gets cast, right? It's just not fitting for the season, and then they have to make you fit. And that's the reason you sometimes have such a different season because with those two players that should have been there, they already knew that there was going to be some dynamics that would cause problems. Right now, you have 4 people that really like each other instead of 4 people that are trying to kill each other. So it messes the whole game up. It does, but that's what it's about. You never know. You listen. If Survivor is a puzzle, right, and they know that you're a Virgo, you're Sagittarius, you're fire, you're water, you're all the crazy stuff that they do with all the tests we take, right? Whatever their formula is, clearly, the one thing you cannot predict is who's going to screw up at pregame, right? And what puzzle piece are they? And if they're that puzzle piece that's really going to bring the little knife into the game, you now have a whole different game and you can't predict that. So probably they're like, who's the biggest personality here? Okay, we have to get an alternate that's like that person, just in case they, right? So that we don't lose that character. But you can't do that for 18 people. So, I mean, I guess you could, but that would cost a lot of money, right? So, like, give me 2 Tiffany's, and you can never be exactly like somebody else. But, so I think that that's clearly what happened this season, in my opinion. And I will stand on this. That I do believe that they wanted a little bit of a chiller season so that 50 could be really massive. And maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. That's what it feels like to me. It's like, why is it so, right? I don't know.
So yes, you mentioned Sophie. Why do you think that we need 2 Sophies or 2 people with the same name on a season together?
Well, why did we need 2 people with the same name on a season together? I don't know why, but they must have just not had anybody else, and they had 2 Sophies that they really liked, right? I mean, what are you going to do? I mean,
like, how would you feel if there was another Tiffany out there in 41?
I'm going to tell you, I would have hated it. Like, honestly, like when I was the only Tiffany before me, and then there was another Tiffany right after me, and she was great. She was great. She's a great character, also. Like a really great girl. Like I really like her, and I was like, like it kind of takes away your, like, when people are talking about, you don't know what Tiffany are they talking about? Tiffany 41, like, and it sort of makes you feel like your own identity is kind of like taken, and it's not. It's so stupid. It's really not. But imagine being 2 Tiffany's on one season. It's like chaotic. That would give me anxiety, being like, what Sophie are they talking about? Are they talking about, and are you sure you heard Sophie S and not Sophie B? Like, are you heard you sure you heard Sophie and not Sophie? And that probably brings a little bit of an anxiety to them too, like an added anxiety that nobody else has, right?
Yeah.
So best to like join forces, because otherwise, that's like, you don't want to get the wrong Sophie. So I don't know. I wouldn't have loved it. But they're taking it really well.
Yeah. And talking about Sophie B, she has the knowledge power, like you mentioned, and you're quite familiar with the knowledge power. So do you think this will make an impact in the game soon?
I mean, I hope so. I hope so. She's been holding on to that, and it's been quiet, and she's been great about it. Like, I really hope it doesn't come out till she uses it. Like, I think that needs to be a moment this season. So I'm hoping that somehow she uses that and it blows something out of the water, which would be great, because that's really the point of it, right? All these advantages are to make moves that they want you to strategize and think of moves that have never been made before, like wow everybody, right? So, I mean, there's a million things you could do with that. Can she give that to somebody else to use? I don't know. I guess she could. I'm not sure if that's in the rules, but she probably could, right? If you give your advantage to someone else, it then becomes theirs. Could somebody find it and steal it? I don't know. Could they? Are they allowed to do that? Is that against the rules?
I don't think so.
I don't know. But she could very well use that, and they're getting down to numbers now, and that's a biggie. That's a biggie. But the extra vote was burned, right, this last time.
Yes.
So that was used well. That was used very well. So now that's a big advantage to hold, because she could take Rizzo's, like, at this point, I don't know. This last time I might have, maybe not, because it's still a little early, but I hope she takes like Rizzo's immunity idol. How freaking great is that? Like, when you get that advantage, you actually have 2 advantages if you want them, or even something else, right? Like, give me your extra vote. Give me your, it's endless, the possibilities that what opens up for her if she uses it at exact right time. And I think she's smart. She hasn't used it yet, but I think we're getting there. I think we have to start now thinking about, like, when am I going to use this? Who has this? When is it going to be the time to take it from him? And am I going to make it back to tribal with him? Or are they going to do some kind of crazy split thing and I'm not going to be with him and then I can't take it from him, right? Or is he going to get voted out with it in his pocket? That would suck if I knew I had that advantage, right? Like,
Yeah.
shoot, how did I let that go? Oh my God, like that's on me. She has a big advantage. She has a big advantage. She's sitting pretty good right now, nice and quiet, and she has quieted down somewhat from the beginning. So,
who do you think
yeah.
that you would align with if you were on the season?
I think that, oh gosh, I think Jake would have been like, we probably would have been lockstep too because we're both loud. I think I would have like that. That's like my kind of thing. Um, Maybe me and Christina, because I lost my mom too. We would have been able to bond on that. I could see, of course, Sophie because New York, like, Rizzo too. Like, there is just a camaraderie there. Even all the Jersey people, right? Like, there is that immediate, like, we know each other, right? There's a familiarity that immediately bonds you. Um, there's not a whole lot of people there that I don't think I would have gotten along with. I really get along with a lot of people. So it takes a very, I don't know, special kind of person that I don't get along with. And even those people, eventually I get along with them. It's a superpower. So, I think I would have been okay on this season. Like, there are some seasons where I'm like, ugh, oh God, I don't like any of these people. Like, or, I don't trust any of these people. I feel like I would have like trusted a bunch of these people, you know? Um, so yeah, I would have been more on I think on the Jake, even Jawan, because he was kind of silly. And yeah, I think I would have been okay with a bunch of these people. Sophie for sure. Savannah, I think I could have totally vibed with Savannah. Something about her, like, I like that forward type of person. So that wouldn't have intimidated me. I would have been like, oh, thank God, somebody else who's like obnoxious a little bit like me, right? Because I'm not really obnoxious, but I come off obnoxious because I'm so loud and opinionated and, loud. I'm loud. If you haven't noticed, let me know if I'm screaming because I'm wearing these ear things and I don't even know if I'm screaming.
No, you're
But I
good. You're
do.
good.
But I do appreciate the early podcast because, I always say at Rap that it's like 10 o'clock. I'm out there. I'm dying on stage because, I am going to be 52. But yeah, so this early time is good for me. I'm still like wide awake. So you got the good Tiffany right now.
Does anyone on the season remind you of anybody else from your cast?
That's a good question. It's funny because Alex is from Liana's hometown. They know each other, or they know
Really?
their family knows each other. And he does remind me, he has like a Liana-esque about him. Like, something about him reminds me of her, maybe because I know, but also like his demeanor. She was very like soft spoken, but smart and like physical. Like, they're very similar like that. So that kind of resonated for me with them, but maybe because I knew. So I don't know which came first, to be fair. Let me think. My season. Oh, maybe. Oh, who are the early vote outs? Let me think. No, not really there. Huh. It's a good question. I didn't think about it.
Well, but they like to cast a lot of people in the same archetype, and a lot of the newer casts are kind of samey. So,
I think so, but I don't feel like there's a whole lot of this. I feel like 41 is a unicorn. Like,
yeah.
who do you tell me? Is there someone that you resonate with our season? I'm interested to know because I don't. It's hard. It's like somebody saying, "What do I look like to myself?" Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. Like, who might be someone from our season that you think? I don't. I don't.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that like Xander and Rizzo are kind of similar at all, or not really at all?
Not at all.
Yeah.
No, I think it's they think that's what people might presume,
Yeah.
but I feel like Xander was a little more athletic. Not that
Mhm.
Rizzo's not, but
Mhm.
Xander seemed to be a little bit more in control of the athletic side of everything.
Yeah.
And I think Rizzo's a little more social than Xander, right?
Mhm.
They don't remind me of each other. Not at all. Not at all. No. But I could see why you say it,
Yeah.
but like a little bit of the, performance at Tribal, like
Yeah.
that type of thing. And maybe they were going for that, but I don't know. I think like Xander's a little bit more of like an all-American boy, and Rizzo's more of like a little scrappier. Maybe
Mhm.
that's what I'm seeing. Yes, not really. Who else? No, I don't really see a commonality that much.
Yeah.
Not really. I feel like I do get the whole archetype thing. I get it. Um, but again, if I was like the older mom, and but we also had Heather, right? So
Mhm.
I don't, who was like me, I don't feel like I got that role
Yeah.
that much, right? Like
What
maybe
about
me
Deshaun and Jawan?
again, I think Jawan comes off a little like Deshaun was a little bit more of a character.
Mhm.
Like Jawan's a little bit more of a happier character than Deshaun. I think Deshaun was a
Yeah.
more like angrier character than Jawan, right?
Mhm.
Like Deshaun was more like a little more villainous
Mhm.
than Jawan. I could maybe a little bit like strategically where he was placed. But again, I think Deshaun was a bigger character.
Mhm.
Like in okay, I feel like Deshaun was like the negativer character, and Jawan was like the positiver of the two.
Yeah.
Those are not
Yeah.
words, by the way, and I'm an English teacher, but you know what I mean. So,
And
I guess.
have you met any of the 49 cast yet? Because I know there were a few of them
Yes,
at the
yes.
RHIP event.
Yes, I met Rizzo, I met Sophie S, I met Jake, I met Alex. Did I meet Jake? Was Jake there that night?
Both Sophies were at the RHIP event. If you met both of them.
I don't know if I saw Sophie B.
Yeah.
And maybe, but I feel like I didn't see her. Maybe. I don't know. It was so late, and Evie had me out so late that night. I was like was walking zombie for 4 days after that. Um, but yeah, I met a couple of them. I mean, it's so nice to meet these people because
Yeah.
they are so in real life. So many of the Survivor people are wonderful, smart, kind, amazing humans. Like really interesting people, and it's an immediate family member. Like you immediately like there is nobody that's been on any season since mine that I and even before that if they walked in my door, I would feel awkward with. It's like
Mhm.
an instant, like, oh my God, isn't that the fun? Like it's instant friendship. So, of course you get tighter with some than others. And of course, the closest you're gonna be are with the people from your season for the most part, because those are the people that you've rode along with for the last 5 years, but I'm really close with Mike and he was the season after me, but we're like super tight, which is
Mhm.
really like different because a lot of it's not as common, right? Um, but I'm super, super tight with Sydney and Sarah and Voce and Evie and just a lot of folks from my season that I actually speak to and see. But of course, Mike from another season is one of my closest. So it's really a very interesting thing when you've been on. It's a trauma bond, obviously, right? Like I kind of feel like you have people who are in the army, and the minute you say, "Oh, I've been in the army," it's like, "Oh, you were in the army too," and it's immediate, right? There's an immediate kinship, and so that's what it's like, and it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing.
So let's wrap up on 49. Who do you think is playing the best game, and who's your winner pick at this point?
I think playing the best game, I would have to say right now. Oof. Oh,
3 episodes
so
left. So who's your winner pick?
I'm between Savannah, Rizzo, and Sophie S. I think.
Could that be the final three?
I mean, I don't know. It depends on what Sophie B is going to do. It could go crazy. I don't know. And are they going to do fire? I'm sure. Um, I don't know. Like, I think Savannah's playing. Here's the thing: Savannah was in a really crappy position for a lot of the beginning. Like she was not liked. People just wanted her out. All this stuff for like really not that much of a reason in my eyes, but whatever. But now she's like a compy. So is Sophie, right? And it's now I don't know who's gonna like who more, right? So for winner, what do we have on jury? Like, do these people like Savannah more? Do they like Rizzo more? Do they like Sophie more? Could Sophie B just jump to the front now and really take, Rizzo's? I don't know what's going to happen, but those are the obvious standout just by editing the standout players at the moment. I think.
So let's get into your season 41. I have a lot of questions about 41. So how did you end up on Survivor in the first place? What's your casting story? How many times did you apply?
Oh,
Tell me all about that.
oh boy, this is interesting. Okay. So back in, I think it was, let me get my timeline straight. What year was okay. So 4 years before casting for season 41, 4 years
Mhm.
prior to that, I was sitting on my couch. I had a really crappy phone. I was just watched the end of one of the Survivor episodes. I was like so in it. I was like, oh my God, this is so awesome. I want to be on like a winning tribe and I want to do this. And so I took my video, my phone, and I made the worst casting video ever, like this, right? And then I like cut and pasted some things from like trips in there. Like it was honestly horrible. And I'm not just saying it was horrible because I knew it was horrible. It was horrible because eventually casting told me it was the worst tape that they've ever seen until Mike Turner's tape went in. His
Yeah,
was
he
the
told me the same thing.
I think he took my spot, which I'm very thankful for. Thanks, Mike, for being worse than me. So at the end of so I put that in, and my husband, I'll never forget, was walking up the stairs, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm putting in a tape for Survivor. I'm going to be on Survivor." He's like, "Okay," like, "Oh, sure. Good luck with that," right? He's like, "Oh, okay." So I'm like, "I'll be up in a minute to go to bed," right? So I put this tape in, and I completely forget about it. Like I wasn't it wasn't even on my radar, like nothing. Completely forgot I did it. I watched Survivor, but I was not a fan. I didn't know what rap was. I didn't know I didn't know anything. Okay. I didn't know Mike Bloomberg. I didn't know anybody. I didn't understand the underworld. All I was a casual watcher. I loved the show, but I didn't even remember people's names after the season was over. Okay. I
Mhm.
couldn't tell you the names as I was watching the season. Now I'm like a professional at that. It comes with fandom, right? I'm more of a fan now than I ever was, which makes me crazy because I want to be on so bad because I'm such a fan now. Like, and not that I wasn't before. I was a super fan, but not a super fan with knowledge. Like I had no idea how things worked. I was always so confused. Like because I didn't follow it. Like I didn't follow podcasts. I didn't understand the things that I should have understood going into the game. I didn't study the game, right? I was not a student of the game. I was a casual watcher who, if you know anybody's a casual watcher like Mike Turner was, we didn't know anything like this. Okay. We did not understand that podcasts were a thing, none of it. So, that being said, I put this video in, I completely forget about it. I'm driving home one day and my phone rings and it says California. And I'm like, whoa, this must be like a spam or something, right? I let it go to voicemail, whatever. It's 9/11. It's September 11th. Okay. I remember because it was September 11th, and 11 is also my a lucky number for me. But I'm like, who was that? And they left a message. And I'm like, that's weird because at the time, like, who would leave me a message if it's spam? Like, what is this? So I go on the message and it's my casting person. Hi, this is blah, blah, blah. And I just want you to know we pulled your tape. And I was like, oh my God, this has to be like one of those weird, like they want money from me. They want me to pay them $500 to see if they can, one of those gigs. Totally didn't get it. Whatever. I'm like, oh, cannot be real, whatever. So I call it back and it's Caitlin from casting. And we're talking. And as I'm on the phone, I realize that this is not a freaking joke. I'm like, wait a minute, this is freaking real. The minute you have a tinge of being possibility to go on the show, you become an animal, an absolute obsessed, psychotic lunatic. Okay. From the second you get that phone call till the minute you land on that beach, you are cuckoo, like certifiable. All right. It was insanity. She called me. I became obsessed. Like I was like, oh, like this is real. I called my husband. I called my dad. I'm like, I think maybe that this is happening. This could this be real? Blah blah. And then it began. And it was, all right, you're going to have a meeting with I'm like, I'm going to have a meeting. I had notes up on my computer because I didn't know who anybody, she's like, trying to prep me. I have like no idea what the hell's going on. She's like, well, who do you think you're like in Survivor? I was like, I don't even know anybody's name. I'm like, oh, I'm like kind of like Cole and a little like Parvati. It's the only names I knew. Okay. I would have said Boston Rob if I thought about it, but those are the only names I knew. Honestly, swear to God. And Sandra, that was it. That's the only people I knew. So like I threw that out. She's like, well, I think you're a little more of a Carolyn C or whatever. Meanwhile, Carolyn C went to my high school. Like I had no idea, right? So I'm like, who the hell is Carolyn? I had no clue. Okay. So Mama C, I'm like, who's Mama C? Like, what is this? I don't even remember any of it. Whatever. So I go through casting with, first they talk to me on the phone. Then I get past that. She's like, okay. And it takes a couple of days before you get to the next step. Whatever. Make a long story short, now I'm on Zoom with Matt Van Wagenen. And the next, then I'm on Zoom with Jeff Probst. I'm like, I was mind blown, right? Next thing you know, they're flying me out to LA. I'm like completely lost my mind at this point, right? And I put a tape in one time,
Wow.
forgot about it, and I'm in LA 4 years later, right? So crazy story. Like what? Caitlin just pulled my tape, and there I was, and I'm in LA, and now everything's going great. I remember I'm sitting in casting, and Jeff closes his book, and he's like, "You're a shoo," and he's like, "That's it. You're great. You can leave. You can walk out that door right now." So that was how that was left, and then I had this big one with like all these people, executives, and everybody. And I went home, and you wait for the call. I made it through all of casting in LA, and I get home, and it's would you rather do 41? Would you rather do 42? Because at the time, that was what they were casting for. Timing wise, does one work better than the other? And for me, when you get casted, you're like, I don't give a shit. Just put me on something right away. Like, I want to be out there right away. And if I would have thought about it, I would have said 42 because I didn't think about it, but it would have been smarter. I said, I don't care, whatever. Boom, no problem. Okay. I think we're probably going to do 41. COVID hits, everything gets shut down. My luck, now I'm dying. I'm going to sleep every night. All I can picture is this island, and I'm on it, and I'm doing every manifestation I can think of. And COVID hits, and we're waiting, and it's on and it's off. Okay, we're flying you out. We're not. Blah, blah. Make a long story short, I go on vacation with my husband, and I get a phone call while I'm on the airplane, and it's my casting girl. And I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? Is it back on? So she's like, I have good news and bad news. Now, the news I was hoping to hear was we're flying out. But the news was we shifted a little bit. And they had this whole push, which was a very important push of, BIPOC and everything else in the midst of everything that was going on in the world. And I was booted. And she said, I have good news and bad news. The good news is you're an alternate. The bad news is you're an alternate, right? Like, but whoever goes, if there's one person that gets COVID, you are on the season, right? So I was an alternate, but not where they would fly me out and be with everybody. I was at home. So I didn't know what was happening. And I was like, it's over. I ate my face off. I didn't care. I ate so much. I was like, I'm not going to be on the show. I'm going to gain weight, whatever. So I come home, whatever, 48 hours before they are flying out to Fiji. What's her name? Poor Lindsay Lindsay gets COVID. And that day I said to my husband, you know what? I have a weird feeling. I think I'm still going to be out there. And my phone rang, and it was Caitlin. I'm like, the minute the phone rang, I was like, hold on. I'm like, and my husband was out on a run. I'm like, oh my God. She's like, you're going. It was a whirlwind. I had to get tested. I had to get all these things that for COVID, and had to do it in Manhattan, and I had to go buy clothing, and I bought the worst shit ever. And then my husband was on a run, so I set up my phone, and I was like, when he comes in, I'm going to tell him, right? And I went crazy. And that's how I got on Survivor. So crazy story. It was one time. So when I hear these people and they're like, I've been applying for 13 years, I'm like, oh my God, like that's awful, because I know how crazy I was for that year, like that small amount of time because of COVID, and, and then being an alternate, that like, I didn't know how lucky I was, right? I did, but I really super appreciated it. So like, it's a crazy story. It's a crazy story.
And when you say you got called 48 hours before, was that before the game started?
No, that was before they flew out to Fiji. Okay, so within 48 hours, they got me out to LA, and I was able to fly out with everybody to Fiji. Of course, I had to test for COVID once I got there, and everything else they do, before I had to see the doctor and all these things. But it was the most hectic 48 hours of my life. I had to leave my job. I had to pay all my bills that I wasn't going to be around because it was like 50 days we were gone. I had to set up everything with my kids. It was like insanity. It was insanity. And I got it done. And there I was. But so I would say I was a little bit at a disadvantage because everybody else like had these outfits planned and everybody knew they were going. And here I am 48 hours in a freaking whirlwind because that's just who I am. So it sort of is like it tracks. But I do best in chaos. So it was great. And it was, a dream come true. Um, and I can only hope that one day I'm back out there. And if I'm not back out there, I'm on some show somewhere. So hopefully we'll see.
Yeah, and you mentioned it was because of the mandate that you were an alternate, but why in the first place were you ever an alternate? Like, why would you not be someone that's automatically on the cast?
Oh, it's a great question that people often ask still because I have a very not big personality, if you couldn't tell. Um, I think that somehow when they changed casting routes, I just didn't fit that puzzle anymore. And I think that that's what happens a lot of times with these people that are told, we're not sure, we're back and forth because there's certain puzzle pieces. Like if one person cannot do it, like that they've casted, that changes the whole puzzle. It's a really big process. And, I didn't fully understand, like, how am I just not on the cast? Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. Like, why am I an alternate? Like, so somebody on casting, whether it was Matt or whoever, I don't know who it was, just maybe didn't think I fit. And that's okay because that's what happens. That's what casting is all about. Sometimes maybe I didn't fit. Maybe that's why I only made it to jury and I didn't make it to final three. Maybe there would have been a better cast for me, right? I don't know. But let's find out. Let's see if there's a better cast for me. That would
Yeah,
be
and
fun.
originally you were supposed to be on UA, right? And you were switched with Shan.
That's what I heard. I heard that like I was on UA and then they switched it. And so who knows? But that would have changed everything, right? Massively. Um, who knows? But I think that they should do a reboot of season 41 and get us all back out there again just because we were the guinea pigs. Don't you think that's a good idea?
I've always said for years that they should bring back the whole cast and just see
Oh my
if
God,
anything's
it'd be so
different,
fun. It'd be so great. Bring back all 41. I'm like, I keep saying, I'm like, maybe they didn't put anybody from 41 on season 50 because they're
Mhm.
going to try to bring us all back for season 52. I was like, that would
Well,
be
I think there's a few people in
nuts.
your cast who wouldn't do it though.
I maybe, but I don't know. I think people say that, and that at the end of the day, if they get that call, how are you not going back?
I don't think Danny McCrae is going to do Survivor again.
Oh my God. I think we could convince Danny to do it again. I think
Yeah.
with a little Sydney, a little Deshaun, a little May, we could make him come back. I mean, just for fun. Come on, Danny. Um, I don't know. I would love to think that everybody would do it. It would be super fun. But it would also be crazy. Like that would be like a big scary thing. I think like there'd be fighting. I mean, it would be like an all out real world kind of thing. I don't know because we have so many relationships within the relationships, not just these like parasocial relationships, but real relationships. So I don't know how that will go, but it would be fun to see.
So what was the 14-day quarantine like?
Oh, that was the worst. That was the absolute pits. Like horrible. So one of my things was that we were in quarantine for 14 days, right? So not only were we in quarantine for 14 days, but we got 1 hour of going outside and walking in a circle with our masks on. So again, we hadn't seen these people's faces until quarantine was over and they took their masks off. So everybody looked so crazy to me when like they took their masks off because you already imagined what they would look like and they were like not at all like that. But the 14 days was like if you could really go insane because first of all, the only TV was not in English. We had one station and it was like, I don't know, CNN. It wasn't CNN. It was something like that, like British CNN or something like that. And then they gave us a Fire Stick with like episodes of Survivor, episodes of another show. I can't remember what it was, but repeated, shows we never watched. And that was it. We had to watch. And then they would drop food in front of our door, right? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner if you got lucky, they decided that, you guys can cook. We're going to give a make yourself your own meal night. And like, you can cook your own meal. So like, that was great, except so much of the food was starch, rice, and like some stuff that I couldn't identify. And I was like, I don't know what that is, but I guess since I'm on Survivor, I should probably eat it. We had no exercise except for that hour walk around in a circle. And I gained like, no joke, 12 pounds for real. It was actually crazy because they weighed me in pregame in LA. The doctor weighed me, and then when I was weighed before I went out to Survivor, I was like a whole like 12 pounds up because I never used sugar. I must have drank 15 cups of coffee with sugar a day because I was so bored. And then like every rice and meal that we had, I ate all the rice and all the starch because the other food was like, oh, I don't want it. And then any chips and crap they gave us, we ate that. We were bored. So, and we weren't moving. So it was like a double whammy, right? And so that was not fun. And then pregame, I was actually questioning my life. 7 days pregame, those tents in that heat was the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life. Survivor was to me like paradise after being in those tents. Those tents sat in like one round area in this baking sun. We were dying in there. It was no air. It was so hot. I was like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Am I insane? Like, what's going on? Why am I was like really losing it in there. And it went a little longer than it should have. We were there for 7 days. So like I wasn't even in the game as long as I was in the pregame and the quarantine. 17 days. And then like pregame and quarantine, we were like 26. It was like crazy. So that was really tough. So we had like a lot of tough things that we were dealing with, from the get-go. So, and then the stupid freaking hourglass crap sucked.
We'll get into that later. We're going a piece by piece
Why?
here.
Right, totally. Anyway, so yeah, so pregame, that was crazy. And then at pregame, they had great food, right? Because now you're at like, now you can like order coffee and order cappuccino and they had nuts and peanuts and all that stuff. And you gain weight from that too. So like by the time that was over, I was like a good 10 to 12 pounds up. And that was not great for me at all. I didn't like it. So, but I will say I was hungry on the island for sure. Like you think of food nonstop, but it really was good. I was at a great weight for not feeling like terrible. So it worked in my favor. I didn't look my best, but it worked in my favor. So it is what it is.
So when did they tell you that it would be 26 days as opposed to the regular 39?
Yeah. So finally, Jeff makes it to the island. I think he was like, I believe he was in contact with somebody who had COVID, which then pushed our stuff a little bit. So they would have make sure he didn't have COVID before he met with us. And I remember we were all sitting in like a row and he's like, welcome, blah, blah, blah. And he's having they have their group meeting with us of what some of the rules are and things like that. And he said, and, we have a little bit of a change this season because of, that you had to be out here for 2 weeks before this and pregame. We're only having a 26-day season. And all you heard was this collective, like, what? That's immediately no. Like, what? Like, we just did all this and it's not even like a full season. Like, for us, we thought like it's not even a full season. And also remember, the episodes are so much longer now. We didn't have that either. And it would have been so much better for our season if we had longer episodes. So like that sucks too. We lost out on a lot of shit. We don't get our torches. Everyone gets their torches now. Some guy has my torch somewhere. Like that's shitty. Sorry, I shouldn't curse, but in New York. And they say really smart people curse, so I like to pull back on that too. But yeah, so that was a definite downer. Like a lot of people were very disappointed. Like this was not our choice. Like everyone wanted the full experience. But again, the whole thing changed anyway. So everyone was at a loss to begin with. So yeah, that was a downer for sure.
And did you get the impression when they told you 26 days that was going to be the regular thing going forward? Did you think it was only you guys because of the pregame?
Yeah, we thought that because of COVID and it messed everything up and it screwed up the days and screwed up their schedule, that this was just kind of like a COVID thing. And, we got to roll with the punches. And it's they took 7 of our days were like in pregame and we wouldn't have had those days if it would have been, if we didn't have the the quarantine for 14 days. And then if we don't do 26 days, then 42 is going to come in, and that's going to be all screwed up with their timing. So yeah, like we kind of were like, I think 41 and 42 are screwed, and that's just going to be where it ends. And then they stuck with it. So I don't think anybody thought that that was going to stay going forward until it did.
So looking back, go ahead.
No, I was going to say it did again, and I still think that people don't love it.
Yeah, and looking back on your season, is there anything that you wish you would have done differently?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there's nobody that would say they wouldn't do things differently. Like, to be honest, I think at Merge, when the night I knew I was being voted out, like I was like, it's definitely me. There's a meme going around of Heather telling me to stay there and sit and don't move, and I'm like smiling and something on Twitter. And I was like, yeah, that's not really, that is what she said. But I got right up and started talking to everybody. I kind of wish, looking back, I did run after Xander in the woods, and I was trying to talk to him, and Liana wouldn't leave us alone for 2 seconds. And he wouldn't talk to me, which really made me crazy. Like, that pissed me off, because I was like, are you serious? Like, don't be stupid. Like, just talk to me. I was so annoyed. I think, I mean, I really did push to speak to these people, but they isolated themselves so much that it was so super uncomfortable. Like, I think I did everything I could have done to like try to break in, but again, it was super fast and there wasn't that much time. And that's the only thing that I can say is that I really struggled with, was there was not enough time to make the relationships that you have when you have longer days, right? And on top of it, I probably shouldn't have given Xander back his idol that I had. I think I should have turned into a real villain and been like, no, I'm not giving it back. The only thing is that I was so afraid that it would completely make everybody so annoyed at me and hate me that it wouldn't have worked in my favor anyway. It might have given me another day, but then what? So, but looking back now, I'm like, it's $1 million. I should have freaking kept it. Like, why didn't I keep it? It didn't even dawn on me to keep it, to be fair. So that's one. Like, I did it because I'm not that type of person, right? A more evil person would be like, I'm not giving this shit back, right? Now I'm a little crazier because now I get it. I'm like, oh no, that shit's. I mean, I still probably will give it back, to be fair, because it depends. You want to make sure that you love each other and everything's great and you're kumbaya. But right after that, Xander stopped talking to me. So that was such a kick in the butt. It's like, really, like, we just pulled this big, huge move off, and now you're not going to talk to me? Like, why? That, and I wish I used my shot in the dark. I forgot I had it. And I wasn't reminded at Tribal. It was in my bag. I didn't use it. I knew I was going. I mean, on the off shot that I wasn't going, maybe my vote would have been the one extra vote that would have gotten Heather out. So I know I was thinking that way, but I never even thought about the shot in the dark. It never crossed my mind. Nope. Didn't cross my mind. So I didn't use it. And that eats at me at times. Yeah. So I think that, and, I don't know, not knowing, I wish I would have studied more. So I would have been a little more aware of what I was doing out there. But
yeah,
it's
and
okay.
There isn't much Jewish representation on the show. Was this something that you had in mind on the island, that you want to become another Jewish winner since Ethan's on?
Yeah, well, so that's an interesting question, because I wasn't even thinking about it, to be honest. Like, I never even thought about Jewish representation on Survivor. I always knew who the Jewish people were, because somehow it was just like, I knew Ethan's on, like I knew his name. I'm like, that's a Jewish name. Like, you just kind of know, right? And there hasn't been a ton. It hasn't been awful. There hasn't been a ton. I don't think there's anybody this season at all, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Right. So, and being the kind of what's going on in the world now, it's disappointing, right? You're kind of like, oh, that's, now it's like, oh, well, what happened to like let's have some equal stuff here. But I guess maybe religion doesn't count. I don't know, but I mean, I feel like it should. So I thought that was, yeah, that, I mean, there was a lot of Jewish representation on our season. There was a ton, which was great. for me. Like I was like, oh, cool, familiarity. But there's been a bunch of people through the years that didn't have another person like them. And so somewhere, somehow, you're always going to feel that within the evolution of a game, right? So it's okay, no problem. It was nice that I had that because there was that feeling of, oh, blah blah blah. So New York is cool, but oh my God, you're Jewish too. Like there's that extra thing to talk about, right? So you always want someone that has something in common with you. That is great. However, what I didn't anticipate on my season was that I was going to be like this Jewish like icon because I said Baruch Hashem, which I'm so proud of myself that I did that. But what's so funny is in real life, I use remarks like that all the time. Like I'll throw a lot of Yiddish words into my vernacular going through life just because it's how I grew up, right? And it's not because I'm super Jewish religious. It's at all. I'm just reformed regular. I don't go to shul. I don't go to temple. I do the high holidays, and and I love my community. I love my people. I love everybody. But at the end of the day, like them putting that in there meant so much to so many people. And now going forward, it's so I feel honored that it was in there, and I feel great that I represented that because it's seemingly needed in this world, and for me at least. And it's so I was written up for it, and I'm kind of known for it. And also, like, you thought about me as like, oh, Baruch Hashem, that's great. Now nobody's gonna think about me on the balance beam because in my head, that's all I see, right? So at least that overshadowed the balance beam. I'll take it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was really nice that that was highlighted, and I'm very proud that was that was what it was. I would have loved to have been the Jewish girl winner. That would have been cool. But I'm coming for you, Probst. So let him know I'm coming for that title.
Yeah, you can't see now, but I'm wearing the shirt that I actually gave out at my bar mitzvah. So it's 10 years ago my bar mitzvah. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow, you're already 10 years out.
yeah,
That's
10 years out.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
So no, I can't see it, but that's cool. So yeah, so what do you think of that since you understand it? Like does it do anything when you think about the fact that there are no Jewish people on this season?
I don't think that's something that they look at in casting. So I don't think that's
Do you
something they
well,
even
okay,
think
that's a
of.
better question. Now I'm putting you on the spot.
Mhm.
Do you think they should look at that at casting?
Um, I think it would be good for representation, no different than all the different races having different winners. So I think it would be good to have a Jewish winner. Yeah, I mean,
Or just representation on a season.
yeah,
Right. And I don't know
yeah.
about 50. Is there anybody Jewish on 50?
I would have to think about it. I mean, I don't think the 50. I think they dropped the POC mandate anyway. So I don't think 50s. I think they got rid of the mandate entirely.
Did they? It's completely
Yeah, I think
gone?
so. Yeah, for Big Brother, it's gone for Big Brother. So
Look
I
at
think
this.
CBS dropped it completely.
Oh my God. It's craziness. Listen, nothing is ever going to be equal anyway in the world. It just doesn't work like that, right? So we'll take it when we can get it. And listen, people need to be on the show because they're fans and they want to be on the show, and they're worthy of being on the show. And everybody who's on the show should be on the show. So if it happens to be that we have some representation, awesome. But it's not because they don't like Jewish people, it's not because of that. It's just because whoever fits, and that's the way it is. But that being said, this Jewish girl would like to go on the show again. So can we make that happen?
Yes. So something I just thought
We'll
about
try.
asking you is at the time of the season, you were actually the rumored winner. Do you remember people thinking that you were the winner at the time of the airing of the season?
Yes, I do. At some point I was on Reddit, which I didn't even know existed. Okay, no idea. And I was like, I think in the beginning, I was like not liked. All of it, everyone's like, that's go. By episode 2, somehow it turned completely the other way, and I am like getting people are writing the nicest things, and I'm like, and then before I know it, I'm like rumored winner. And I was like, did I win and not know it? I was like, what is happening? Like, how did this get leaked that I was a winner? Like, it's very strange around my name. I was leaked also that I was called for season 50, which I was not. But that was leaked somehow. I don't know who's leaking my name or whatever it is, but I love you for it because it keeps me relevant. But yeah, no, I remember being like, this is so funny. I don't know where they're coming. Sometimes some of the fandom and things that come out are so funny. Like sometimes it's spot on and it's funny because it's spot on. And sometimes it's so crazy random. I was like, I don't even know
Yeah.
why that came to be. Like, I think maybe because my edit went down and went up so much, like maybe because of that. Um, but I think without that stupid freaking hourglass, it would have been a much different story. That changed a lot of my game. So that's frustrating as hell because I know there was more in me, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I do remember thinking during your boot episode when you got voted out. I was shocked because everybody said, "Oh, it's so obvious Tiffany's the winner." And I was shocked when you got voted out. So
Yeah, there was a lot of shock. That was when I was the most shocked that people were so shocked because I was like, no, I knew I was getting voted out. Like, of course I knew I was getting voted out of the show. But like, I remember that night going in, going, oh, I'm doomed because I had known that before the hourglass, it was all on Shan because we were able to get Shan out because that was on the opposite side, right? And me being not safe was actually great for my game because Shan was the target with that group. And then by being safe, that screwed everything up. So, like, once that happened, and then when they outed Xander, that when Deshawn outed Evie, that she told um, Deshawn about everything, and like that was when my game blew up because me, Xander, and Evie were a tight three in their eyes, along with Liana until she flipped. But like that really put a target on me. And of course, Deshaun was not happy with me when I put his name down because that was Danny McRae's fault because he told me not to vote for Sydney, I was going to vote for Sydney because I wasn't putting Evie's name down. Deshaun wasn't even on my radar, and everybody was doing Sydney. So I'm like, that would have been the smart move, but I also loved Sydney, but also it didn't matter to me because I was like, I don't even know this girl really. Like it didn't matter at that time. Had I known it was going to kill me to put Deshaun's name down, I never would have done it. So, but whatever. Can't win them all. It was a whole big mess. That's
yeah, and
Survivor.
going back to the pregame, was there someone that you had pegged as a big threat or someone that could win the game in the pregame?
Shan,
Shan.
something about her. I was like, this girl. Yeah. And you know what? I'll tell you what's really crazy. The craziest thing of all is that during LA finals, I was on the treadmill next to Erica, and Erica had purple nail polish on her hands. And I'm like, I could be standing next to the next winner of Survivor. Isn't that crazy? And then she won. That was crazy. I remember being like, she could win Survivor. Like, she could. It was weird. It was weird.
Yeah, and that leads me to my next question of when you were voted out, who did you think could win? And did you ever think at that point that Erica was going to go on to win?
No, I didn't actually. I didn't understand at the moment why she was being left in there so much but I guess I didn't have enough time during merge to see that Erica and Heather were just kind of like extra numbers for those people, right? And then the way I left the game, when I left, I was like, Shan's running the show. That was what was happening. And I already knew once I got voted off who was next. I said to Evie, here's what's gonna happen. And I was right on the whole line down. Okay. So once I got voted out, I knew who was next and next and next and next. Unless they won the idol, then they were done. Okay. So when I was out, I knew Evie was next. I knew after that it was going to be Nasir because he was on the bottom. And after that, I was like, now they're going to cut Liana because she's on the bottom of that group. And it's going to be every man for itself. Right. So I kind of thought that Shan would get to the end with Ricard. And that would have been who I thought would have kind of gotten to the end. And maybe with Xander as like the pull along for them. But then again, it's all about who wins the necklace, and that changes everything going down the line. And that's what happens. And then you had the Black Alliance had fighting within themselves, and when that happened, they started eating each other, and that really screwed up Shan's game and Ricard's game. Like they couldn't get their like emotions out of like gameplay, and that's what screwed them all up. Really. And I think if Danny got to the end, everybody would have voted for Danny because everybody loved Danny. Like it wouldn't have even been a thing. It'd be like, all right, you didn't win anything, but we love you. Take the money and run. Like, that's sometimes what happens. It's not always about, oh, you played the best game. Of course it's going to be about, oh, you really pissed off this entire jury. So your jury handling was horrible. We don't care what else you did, and you're not getting it. Like, that's what happens. Like it just is, you try to give a fair shot, and looking back, do we all have different feelings? Sure. Can we understand what the fandom thinks about who won our season? Sure we can. But I can also say that if you're making it to the end, then it's anyone's game, right? If you're sitting at the end, if had been Heather sitting with Erica and Deshaun, I don't know. Maybe Heather would have. Who knows? I don't think so. But like, it's just really very, very much dependent on how the other players and jury see you, and how they personally viewed your game, and what you did to those people, and how influential are the people sitting in jury within each other, right? So, just like Big Brother, look what happened this season in Big Brother, right?
Yeah.
Half people were up in arms going, how the hell did Morgan not win that? Right?
Yeah.
And you had the other half going, this one played the hell of a game and was able to talk that speech like it was nothing. And so, like, that's just what happens. And not everybody's going to agree with your win, but a win is a win, period. And you got that,
Yeah.
you got the numbers and you won, period. End of story. Full stop. Nothing you can say or do about it. Could argue till the day is long of who's a better player, sure. What about Mike Turner? Mike Turner should have won his season. I mean, I'm not being a jerk. He should have won a season. Go back, watch it again. I love the girl, but was she more worthy? I don't think so. And in my season, half the people would say Xander should have won. And you would half the people would say, wasn't he more worthy? And I'd probably say, probably, as a fan, right? So, that's the problem. Like, you're not voting as a fan watching. You're voting as a player who just played with these people. And like, there's a whole lot going on in that dynamic, right? And if you can't talk the talk and outwit and outlast and outplay and outshine all these other people out here by something you say, then you're going to lose. And that's what happens. And it's not up for debate. It is what it is. And you've got a lot of controversial winners for a reason, right? Sucks.
Well,
and I don't think I should have been voted out at Merge, but whatever.
Was it important to the women on the jury to vote for a woman to win the game, that there hasn't been a woman to win in 7 seasons?
Yeah, I think you had a little bit of that. I think you had a little bit of the woman, woohoo, kumbaya, go women. It was, again, we're talking about the time of where we were in politics and where we were in culture and where we were in life. And yeah, right? So listen, if I didn't go rah-rah women on my season, I would have been in big, deep trouble before Merge, right?
Yeah.
Because Evie was all about the 3 women. Like, we got to get past these guys. Like, let's run them over. Right. And had I not been like that, then maybe me and Voce could have ran over everybody else. I don't know. It worked for me. And when you're playing the game, you're going to go with the people who are riding for you. Right. You're always going to, you kind of tend to go safe, which sucks for the game and for the viewers. But like, for you, it's $1 million. You're going to go safe if you know you're going to be safe. Right. But as far as like, all women, like that representation, look at what the jury held. You had me, you had Liana, you had Shan, you had Evie. I mean, we were very Heather. We were like 5 of us going, we got to give it to the girl. Right? Like, you got to give it to the girl. Like, and she slept in the woods by herself one whole night. Right? And then she outwitted all these other morons that are fighting with each other. Like, she played a smart game. And whether they gave her the credit for it or they showed it in the show, it is what it is. There may not have been that much to show, but she was still there all the way to the end. So what are you going to do? You can argue, blame it on the editors for not showing her, more prominently. Maybe because it's more of a masculine type of editing. I don't know. But I was very fine with my editing, minus the balance beam.
So what was it like having the votes read on location in the after show?
Oh, that's so weird. That was so weird. Like, look, can you imagine being Xander sitting there? You're like 20 something years old. You just had $1 million ripped out of your hands. You're dirty, you're hungry, you're tired. You cannot believe you got it this far. And then it was taken out. And here we all are shoving pizza down our throats, drinking, some champagne. And Probst is like, okay, and the winner is. And it's like, oh, cheers. Like, I just lost $1 million. Like, it was weird as hell. Not going to lie. It was weird as hell. I don't know that I don't like it. I don't like it. I like that. I guess it's great for the winner. They know they're going home with $1 million, but like it's weird. Like it's weird. It's not Survivor. And it's also, I mean, I guess the fun of like going to LA and having it red and all that is it's very exciting for the players. And also some time has settled and stuff like that. So, but you're also still just voting at the same time. I mean, it's not like you didn't vote at the same exact time as when it was read aloud. You just have to wait for the answer. So, it's a little more fun for the viewers. It's much more frustrating for the players. Um, but we were pivot. We had a pivot. So we did. We
Yeah,
did. Listen, I wouldn't trade it for the world, but I like to
yeah,
talk
and
shit
something
about it.
else. Yeah, something else that changed with your Steve was there was no more Ponderosa videos. Why do you think that they ended the Ponderosa videos?
Oh, who knows? Maybe I know, maybe I don't. I'll say this. I think any possible way they can save money, they're going to. But I can also tell you that our Ponderosa was a shit show. And I think after that, it was just such a hot mess that they were like, these people are just too vulnerable and too tired and too upset and too emotional. We're not going to, this is no. It's almost like maybe they're feeling like it's a little bit of exploitation after like you've been out there and you're just so depleted and not yourself. And now you're like having to put on a show after, you know? For me, I was like, "Whee, Ponderosa." Like I was like, let's go. I don't care. This is more fun. I hate that they took it away, but they have their reasons, and it's probably better off. I don't know. Maybe they'll bring it back. I hated that there was no parent visit, like family visit. That sucks
Mm.
too. That's always so fun to watch because, like, now that gives you an advantage too in the game. Like now your castmates are seeing you as human, and that helps some people. A lot of the stuff that was not done was to a disadvantage to us. Um, so yeah, yeah. Don't
Yeah,
love
it's
it.
something we probably would have seen in the Ponderosa videos. Usually, when people get on the scale, you lost 16 pounds in 16 days. What was it like getting on the scale after 16 days?
Oh my God, I was so happy. I was like, oh my God, if I didn't lose this weight, put me back out there for another freaking 12 days. Cause I know I need to lose this weight, right? So when I got lost that weight and had just seen myself in the mirror for the first time, it wasn't that I thought I looked so thin because I've been thinner than that. Like that was still a heavy weight for me. But something about being on an island and only eating like fresh foods and like off the land and no plugged into your phone and complete like reset from the world does something to you. I felt better than I've ever felt in my life out there. Like not a single headache. I have eye issues, not a single eye issue. Not I wasn't nauseous for not even a second out there. Like the only problem I had is I couldn't go to the bathroom for like a long time. They were starting to worry. They're like, "Oh my God, this isn't normal." I was like, "Oh, it's normal for me." Um, but other than that, like you're glowing out there because like you are living off the land. Like I think that there is something to be said for that. And the no stress of the phones and the people and everything, the noise, all the outside noise. And you're just in this one little, bubble. It does bring a calm and beauty to you that I saw myself a little different. I was like, wow, I'm like a rejuvenated person from when I got here. And I think that also had a lot to do with my like childhood and having all these surgeries that I had to have and never really having a recuperation time without having a million other things to focus on, that it was the first time in my life I was able to just focus on me. And that was very good for me. That was a gift that Survivor gave me that I don't think, I will ever be more thankful for. So, you know, along with everything else that it has given me going forward. Even though we had a shitty season, blah, blah, blah. I still am not, it's not lost on me that I had an opportunity of a lifetime and am, forever thankful to Jeff and Matt and Caitlin and all these people that brought me out there and all these people that work so damn hard on this show. It's insane what they do. It's insane. So, it was great. I love seeing myself 16 pounds lighter and more pretty. I was like, I'm prettier now. I'm okay with
I
this.
got, I got, I got one fan question. This person wants to know, how come Mike Turner is so great?
You can tell Mike Turner to shove it where the moon don't shine, okay? Because I know that that's from him, okay? Tell him he's so great because he is just the best person to go to any event post Survivor with because he knows when to leave. Tell him I said that. Okay, Mike is known to like meet me at these places and then he just leaves. Okay. He doesn't tell anybody. He just leaves. He doesn't even tell me. He just walks out the door. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye, Mike. Thanks for coming. Or he'll have me going to this event and then he doesn't show up because he couldn't make it for some reason. That's what he does too. Also, Mike is one of the greatest people in the world. Like, he is really a great guy and he deserved to win that $1 million. And I hope that he gets the chance to do that. I would love to be out there with him, but if I'm not, I hope he gets a chance to do it. 'Cause I think he's more likely to go back than I am, but it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, so obviously you really want to play Survivor again, but have you been asked to do any other shows since you've done Survivor? Has any other shows called wanting you?
No, I did get a message at one point from TJ Lavin asking if I was interested in the challenge. And that was like while it was airing. All right. And I'm like, have you seen me in Survivor? Like, are you okay? But he was like, oh, just reach out to Bruna Murray or whatever it was. And I never did. But I think that listen, I would do many of the new shows that are out, right? Specifically Traitors and I would love to, just for fun, I would do 99. I would do that. I would do, of course, if it came back, Deal or No Deal Island, I would do Extract. I'd do any of them. But I don't think it works like that they call you. I think like you have to put in for it and somehow get your name. And right now they're focusing on like the OG Survivor players like Sandra and then like the huge people like Carolyn and all the people that were like very big characters in Survivor that they're like purposing for the new shows. But yeah, I would love to do just about any show. I'd like to win some more money. Thank you very much. While I'm still like young-ish.
What about The Amazing Race? Because The Amazing Race is currently doing the all Big Brother players and loved ones season. Would you want to see them do Survivor and their loved ones for an Amazing
Oh my
Race
God, I would love that. Oh my God, I would love that. I would do Amazing Race. I would do in a heartbeat. I would do it with. There's a couple of people from Survivor I would do it with. Obviously, Mike being one of them. But there are others. And then for my family, are you kidding? I would love it. It would be so fun. So yeah, I would love if they did that. But again, there are so many people from Survivor that they could choose from. Are they going to choose me? Right? So I don't know. Somebody's got pulled somewhere.
Why not?
I don't. They should. I'm phenomenal, but I don't know. Maybe they don't think so. Who knows? Maybe not. I don't know. I would love it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and you mentioned the challenge that we've seen Danny and Shan and Sydney do the challenge, and Erica from your cast also done the Traitors. Do you watch other reality shows when your castmates go on them?
So it's so funny because I'm so super close with Sydney and she did so well on the challenge. And I watched the first episode and I was with her yesterday. She came to my house and we worked out together. And then she went to meet another friend. But she was like, "Did you see this episode?" I'm like, "Sydney, I've seen one. Like, come on, you got to help me out here." And I want to watch it. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't want to watch it. It's just time passes and like I can't even keep up with Survivor half the time. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to watch Sydney. So I'm going to sit my ass down and watch every Sydney episode. But I do watch her highlights and I keep up on Twitter. So like I know what she's done. And then like I would like to watch Omar on the Traitors. I just don't know how to get it. So, if it takes me more than like 2 seconds on the internet and I can't figure it out, I'm out. I've of course watched Carolyn on the Traitors. Of course, I've watched those seasons for sure. It's weird to watch your friends on there. Like I'm like, this is so weird. Like I know you. Like that it's weird. It's actually so weird to watch Survivor now because I know every spot on those islands and I'm like, "Oh my god, I stood right there. Like I know where they are." It's weird. It's fun, but it's weird. Like, you know, back in the day I would never have thought that like I would have text message conversations with some of the people that I have text message conversations with. Like Ethan's on, like, what's like, we're like friends. Like, he just texted me something today. It's like, what is happening? Like, I watched him and I was like, I love him. You know, now we're like, what are you doing? Are you going to here? Are you doing that? Like, and you just, it's a real kick in the butt that these people are just regular people, right? And we're all in the same position. None of us are like superstars. None of us are like, you know, what of all the players on Survivor, I think that like the most successful is Hasselback, right? And as far
Yeah.
as like being famous in that way. Um, so it's like really hard to, you know, be like that. It's hard to be in the spotlight of such an amazing show and then just like be gone. It's really hard. Um, but you know, I made my mark. I was on the show, and nobody could take that from me. And we'll go with that.
So let's get into season 50. You said that you were not called, but I'm curious, were people calling you, Tiffany, saying, "Oh, Tiffany, if you're out there, we're going to have an alliance." Is any of that happening for you?
I absolutely was hit up by many people who were feeling me out to see if I got called as well.
Like Mike Turner.
And he's in trouble with me. We'll talk about that another day, Mike Turner. Yeah, like Mike Turner, that jerk. But there were others that all of a sudden I'm getting text messages from, like, if you're not on the show, I'm not going. Like weird ass messages. And I'm like, okay, you got called. I got it. Like, and then they're just trying to like connect with you again because they're worried that you were called too. And if the two of you are out there, you know, like they want to make sure we're on the good. Right. So there was a bit of that. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I was definitely somewhere leaked that I had been called because I was definitely getting those calls, those texts, a lot of it. Yes. But I was
So
not called.
there's no people from 41, but who are you rooting for on the season?
Oh my God. I mean, I have to root for like Jonathan from 42. Right. I love
Do
the
you have
guy.
to?
And I have to. He's like Mike 2.0. How can you not root for him? Yes, I have to root for Jonathan for sure. But I like a lot of the cast. I mean, Chrissy Hoffbeck. I hope she does great. I mean, a lot of them. Come on, there's some really great people on the show. I can't. It'll be so fun to watch. But like I'd like an OG from my season, right? From my era, from the new era. It would be cool. That would be pretty
Yeah, and
epic.
yeah, obviously, other than Mike Turner, who are some of the big misses on the cast that you would have liked to see?
Oh, you gotta wonder, like Shan not being called, Ricard
Hmm.
not being called, um, Carolyn, even
Yeah,
Omar, like weird. I don't know what the hell happened there. And then all these people that won already in the new season, like, they're great people. I love them, but like,
yeah,
why? And then from 49, like, why? The only thing I can think of is they're saving everybody else for something else.
yeah.
That's
That's what
the
they're
only thing
doing
that
with
makes.
you.
Okay, well, can you make sure that that happens? Who do we talk to?
Well, can I get on the show first, and then we can go back for returning season?
Yeah,
We'll do it.
absolutely. I'm here for that. I'm here for
I'm
that.
I'm already out here, so
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say you're already sitting there and like, come on, just keep on plugging away. You got plenty of years left, right? I was 47. Let's hope it
yeah,
keeps going. Let's hope
yeah.
it keeps
So
going.
so this is ultimately a Big Brother podcast. I just wanted to briefly touch on Big Brother. So what is your history with Big Brother? Do you watch the show? Tell me about your Big Brother experience.
I'm gonna tell you something funny. I wanted to do Big Brother before I wanted to do Survivor. I was like,
Mhm.
I would be so fun on this show because it's like stupid challenges that I'd probably suck at too, but whatever. And like I'm like such a prankster. Like I would have so much fun in that house. Although everybody who's ever been on it says it's really, really, really tough to be locked in a house like that. But yes,
Yeah,
I watch it. I watch it every season. I can't help it. It's just anytime I can like just like be a fly on the wall in someone's anything. Like, I mean, how many? There are people on TikTok that just like live stream, and I'm like, why am I even looking at you? It's so weird. But like, it's just some voyeurism shit that I can't explain. But with Big Brother, it's also fun. So, yeah, I like the show. I know I'm like a loser. I like the show. It's
Yeah,
no
and
Survivor. It's no Survivor. Okay, but
yeah,
yeah,
and you've been following my
it's.
page for years, so that also helps you keep up.
I mean, listen, I am. I will say I probably could tell you more about Big Brother than Survivor before I went out on Survivor. Just because I
Really?
watch Survivor as like super fun, but like Big Brother's like drama, right? Like there's like some good drama on that show. Like I think so that, was kind of real worldish for me, like, old school stuff. So yeah, I love Big Brother before I even was like a super Survivor fan. But Survivor is like the top tier of all these shows, and
Yeah.
I don't know. So
Yeah, and even
that's
Sri,
how I
when
do.
she did Big Brother, she said that Big Brother is much harder than Survivor. That she would do Survivor 100 times before she would ever step foot in the Big Brother house again.
Yeah,
So
I mean, if you're saying that, then like that's that's scary. That's scary. Like, really. If you're saying that, then it's probably very difficult to be locked in a house. Listen, I was locked in quarantine for 14 days before Survivor, and I actually thought that was horrible. So if it's anything like that, like which I assume it is, except that you have a
mhm.
gym, but even that is like not enough. But not being able to move around, like, and I have a lot of energy. I think that would probably drive me nuts. Yeah. But put all these Survivor people in the Big Brother house. Oh my God. Oh my God. So fun.
Yeah,
So
so
fun.
that's my next question. That who from Survivor 41 do you think would do well in Big Brother?
Oh my God. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people.
Yeah,
We're all so social. Like I I really think like we're all super social. I don't know. It's a very social game. Like I think, yeah, like, but I see like the younger people because they don't have a lot of older people on Big Brother. So like
mhm.
Xander and Evie and all the young folk would do really good. Like Shan, I mean, for sure. Deshaun, Ricard, they'd have so much fun doing it. But even Ricard is almost on the older side now for it even, and he's not old, but I feel like at all, he's not old at all, but he's also like, I feel like it's a much more tailored for like the 20s, 20 to
Yeah.
30s, than 30 and beyond. They always have that one person, like, what's her name on there? You know, I don't know. I
Do
think
you
they always,
know do you know people from your cast that watch Big Brother that would be good for me to talk to on the podcast?
who watches Big Brother? I don't wonder. I wonder if Evie watches it. I don't know many people that watch
Yeah,
Big Brother from my cast. I
yeah.
might be the only loser. Okay. It might just be me. Just me. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, maybe, who was supposed to, I think, was it Sydney that was supposed to be, I think Sydney was originally going for Big Brother
Really?
and
Okay.
and they pulled her for Survivor instead. Was it
I can never
Sydney?
see her in the Big Brother house. I feel like,
Oh my God, she would tear that shit up.
yeah,
Maybe I think it was her. Somebody was originally trying out or called for one of the other shows and then ended up on Survivor. I think it was Sid. I have to ask her. I have to ask her. Yeah. Yeah.
So, what have you learned about yourself through this reality TV experience? Has it affected your view of yourself at all?
I mean, I thought I was awesome before I did it, but now I know I'm really awesome. I said that in my Ponderosa video, and I'm being serious. Like that sounds so Sydney-esque, and it's not going to land as good as it lands with Sydney. But I'm a really good person. I'm a really nice person, and I get along with so many people, and I really go out of my way. And like, I kind of feel like it showed ish that like I was a strong, resilient person. And I didn't leave bitter and angry and pissed off. Like I came off Ponderosa and I was still my happy self. Like even at my bare minimum, like, yeah, I think it proved that like it's not an act. Like sometimes I wonder myself, am I acting or am I you ask yourself stupid questions. It just happens. Sometimes I'm like, am I really this happy? Like really this happy? And I am. Like, look at me. Like I really and they took everything away from me and I was still fine. Like, so it kind of showed me that like even like without a house, without having money without anything, I could do it. Like I'll be okay. Like I always knew it, but now I kind of really know it. Like I'll be okay. So yeah, like I was able to survive without my phone. That's a new one. And my kids survived without their mom. Like the whole world kept turning without Tiffany being here. Like that's a very good feeling. Like I'm serious. There's a part of me that now that I think about it, like I always feel like I'm so needed in my house and I'm so needed. My kids need me so much. And God forbid what happened to me, happened to my mother, happens to me. And what would my kids do? Like they're so used to me and I help so much and take care of so much. Like, but you know what? They were okay. Like, so it took some pressure off, I think. Like everything keeps going. My job was still there. Like the house didn't fall in. Everybody was okay without me around and everyone survived. So it's okay. I could take a little pressure off myself. Like maybe that's what I learned. So see, it's because of you. I just thought of that.
So that's why you can go back to Survivor, because you know that everything's going to be just fine at home without you.
That's right. That was going to be just fine. Just fine.
And 100 days in the Big Brother house. We're going to see it, right?
Okay, yep. And then throw me out in an amazing race and then put me in the
And the
trainer's
challenge,
house.
TJ wants
And
you.
the challenge. TJ really wants me. I think the challenge, I would probably die. I probably would die. I think it is not for me. No.
I mean, I feel like the host of the show is texting you to go on the show. I feel like you got to try it at least.
Well, I mean, we're talking 4 years ago, and he just said, "Are you interested in the challenge?" And that might have been after he watched some really good moment of me on TV. That maybe when I was doing something, I don't know. And also maybe they were looking for like the most recent people on Survivor to be on the challenge and just putting their feelers out. Maybe he didn't even realize like that I was like 47 years old and now I'm 52. And no, I don't think I, d- I don't know that I'd be good at the challenge. I'd be okay socially, but I don't know that I'd be good at those challenges.
They have a challenge all stars. It's for the later days people.
Okay, that I could do.
Yeah.
That I could do. Thanks, Evie. Later days.
So Tiffany, what's next for you? Any future shows? Anything you want to promote to people?
Well, I think I am just trying to figure out what show I'm going to do next if it's not going to be Survivor. Of course, I'll always hold out hope that it's Survivor, but you know, just making a little more money to like ease my life up a little bit would be great. I have a great life. I can't complain. But, I had two boys in college. One's graduated, obviously, but the other one is still in college. And it would be really nice to just make a little money. And that would be great. And I just love, I'm very much like, I'm a little bit of an adrenaline junkie, but not the type that like wants to climb a mountain free climb. Okay. Not like that. But I'm a little crazy. So I need something to keep me like something adventurous. I'm very adventurous. So, and I like to just pack up and go. So anything, like I am up to do pretty much any show that I won't die in is off the table. But I would even maybe do Fear Factor. Ugh, disgusting.
Really?
But I would maybe do it. Maybe. I don't know. Crazy.
And where
We'll
can people
see.
find you online, Tiffany?
I am on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I am cringy as hell. I know it. Don't worry. It's not like I don't know I'm cringy. I know I am, but I have to keep myself relevant. So I keep it up there. And I am always at the events. I am not going to Over the Edge this year. I made a last minute decision not to go. I love that event. I'm sad I'm not going. I'm going to miss all the people that I'm with all the time. But I've had a very long couple of months and just lost my puppy. My dog died, so I'm sad, and I'm just my brain's not there right now. So my kid will be home, and I want to be home. So, and it's my birthday every year when Over the Edge happens. So I think I'm gonna stay home for my birthday this year. But everybody, it's a great event. It's so much fun. It's just crazy. I mean, if you love Big Brother, you should get a ticket and go because it's every there. I think there are going to be more Big Brother people there than there even are Survivor fans, Survivor people who used to be the bigger people there. Now I think Big Brother is just like really taking it over. So there'll be a ton of Big Brother people there, and it's for good causes. And so I won't be there this year, but I will be at every other event, and hopefully at some season 50 events in New York if they have any. And you can always find me there, and I'm always on Instagram, and I always answer everybody who writes me on Instagram. I usually DM right back, and I'm on Cameo, but people don't know what a Cameo is anymore because I always answer them anyway for free. So that's the truth.
All right, Tiffany, that was everything I had for you. So thank you so much. You gave me so much of your time. It was a pleasure to catch up with you, and I'm looking forward to seeing what show you're on next.
Thank you so much, and I wish you good luck. Come on, you can do this. Keep putting those tapes in.
I will. I
Keep
will.
keep putting them in, and make sure you have a good story to tell.
I'll have to come up with one.
Well, you're gonna have to get on that.
All right, Tiffany. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.